Ever wondered how silence can be more powerful than words? How it can influence and shape our interactions? These are questions we rarely pause to contemplate, yet they hold the key to a realm of communication that often remains unexplored, underutilized, yet extraordinarily potent. Picture silence not as an absence, not as a void, but as a presence. Imagine it as a canvas, an open space where ideas, emotions, and understanding can take form and flourish. This is the concept of silence we're diving into today, a strategic communication tool that can often resonate more deeply than any spoken or written word. In this exploration, we're going beyond the conventional understanding of silence. We're not talking about the awkward pause in a conversation or the hush that falls in a room when someone tells a bad joke. No, we're discussing a different kind of silence. A silence that communicates, connects, and influences. It's the silence that gives weight to our words, that allows for reflection, that breeds understanding. It's the silence that conveys respect, empathy, and patience. It's the silence that can shape a narrative, steer a negotiation, and even transform leadership dynamics. It's the silence that, when used strategically, can be more impactful than any eloquent speech or persuasive argument. Throughout history, great leaders, negotiators, and influencers have known and harnessed this power of silence. They've understood that sometimes it's not about what you say, but what you don't say that truly matters. But how do they do it? How can we learn to wield this unsaid power? And most importantly, how can we use it responsibly and positively to foster understanding and respect? Over the next several minutes, we'll delve into these questions, exploring the psychological aspects of silence, practical scenarios where it can be effectively used, tips to build your silence muscle, and even how different cultures perceive and utilize silence in communication. So, take a moment, quiet your mind, and join us on this journey as we explore the subtle art of silent influence. Silence, a universal language, holds an intriguing psychological power. It's an art form that can speak volumes without uttering a single word, a paradox that can be both deafening and illuminating. But what exactly makes silence so impactful in influencing others? Let's delve into the psychological aspects. Firstly, silence creates a space for introspection. When we quiet our external world, our internal world often becomes louder. We become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. This introspection can lead to greater self-awareness, a fundamental aspect of emotional intelligence. And as many of you may know, emotional intelligence is a key driver of influence. Secondly, silence fosters empathy. When we listen without interrupting, we're giving others the space to express themselves fully. We're showing that we value their thoughts and emotions, which in turn can make them more receptive to our influence. In essence, silence can be a powerful tool for building trust and understanding. Thirdly, silence promotes understanding. It's in the quiet moments that we often find clarity. By not rushing to fill the conversational void, we provide an opportunity for both us and others to reflect and process information. This can lead to a deeper understanding of the situation at hand, thereby enhancing our ability to influence the outcome. Moreover, silence can act as a psychological trigger, prompting others to fill the conversational void. This can often lead to them revealing more than they initially intended, providing us with valuable insights that we can use to our advantage. Lastly, silence can also be a sign of confidence. By being comfortable in silence, we demonstrate that we're not afraid of awkward pauses or uncomfortable truths. This can command respect from others, further enhancing our influential power. However, it's important to remember that silence is not about manipulating others, but rather about fostering a deeper connection and understanding. It's about using our silence wisely to enhance our communication and influence rather than diminish it. So silence, it seems, is more than just a pause. It's a powerful psychological tool. But how does silence work in real life? How can it influence outcomes? Let's delve into a few practical scenarios where the power of silence can be wielded effectively. Consider storytelling. A well-placed pause can dramatically enhance the impact of a narrative. It builds anticipation, allowing the audience's imagination to fill in the gaps, thereby drawing them deeper into the story. It's not always the words that captivate, but the space in between them. In negotiations, silence can be a significant ally. Rather than rushing to fill the void, embracing the silence can shift the power dynamics. It allows you to maintain control, giving space for the other party to reveal their hand. perhaps divulging more information than they intended, essentially strengthening your position. Now let's shift our gaze towards leadership. Leaders often feel the need to fill the air with words, but the most effective leaders understand the potency of silence. By refraining from immediate response, they create a space for others to step forward, fostering a culture of empowerment and shared ownership. Silence, in this context, is not a sign of indecisiveness, but a deliberate strategy that encourages participation and growth. Everyday conversations can be transformed with the artful use of silence. In moments of conflict, a pause can diffuse tension and invite reflection. In moments of joy, silence can amplify the shared happiness, and when someone confides in you, your silent presence can be more comforting than any words. Silence can also be a tool for introspection, allowing us to listen to our thoughts and feelings. In a world that often demands constant noise and chatter, the intentional use of silence can provide a much-needed respite, a moment to reconnect with ourselves. So, whether you're a storyteller, a negotiator, a leader, or simply a friend in conversation, silence can be your secret weapon, enhancing your ability to influence and connect in profound ways. As we see, silence can shape conversations and outcomes in unexpected ways. Silence, like any muscle, grows stronger with use. Just as regular exercise strengthens our physical muscles, frequent practice can fortify our silence muscle. By making a conscious effort to incorporate more silence into our daily interactions, we can become more comfortable with its presence and more adept at using it as a tool of influence. So how do we build this silence muscle? The first step is to become aware of our tendency to fill silence. Many of us rush to fill gaps in conversation, often with unnecessary chatter. Instead, we should try to resist this urge. The next time you're in a conversation, when you feel a silence coming on, let it linger. Don't rush to fill it. This simple exercise can help you get more comfortable with silence. Another effective exercise is to practice active listening. This means focusing entirely on the speaker rather than planning your response. When we truly listen, we create space for silence, allowing the speaker to fully express themselves. It's in these silent moments that we often gain the most insight and understanding. It's also beneficial to practice silence in solitude. Whether it's through meditation, quiet contemplation, or just sitting quietly with your thoughts, these moments of silence can help you become more at ease with its presence. Besides, they offer a wonderful opportunity to connect with your inner self, fostering a sense of peace and tranquility. Remember, silence is not about withholding information or creating tension. It's about creating space for understanding and empathy. It's about allowing others to express themselves fully and giving yourself the time to respond thoughtfully. It's about respecting the power of words and understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. As we continue to exercise our silence muscle, we'll find that it becomes easier and more natural to incorporate silence into our interactions. We'll find that we can use silence strategically to influence outcomes, enhance our relationships, and improve our understanding of others. By embracing silence, we can amplify our influence and transform our interactions. Silence speaks volumes, and its dialects vary across cultures. Indeed, silence is a universal language, but the meaning it conveys can differ dramatically from one culture to another. Let's travel the globe together and explore how this silent power is perceived and utilized in different societies. In Japan, for instance, silence is seen as a sign of respect, wisdom, and introspection. The Japanese practice of mokusatsu, which translates as killing with silence, can be used strategically in negotiations to provoke thought and reflection. Now, let's venture to Finland, where silence is deeply ingrained in the culture. The Finns value quiet contemplation and are comfortable with long pauses in conversations. They believe that words should be chosen carefully, and silence is often preferred to idle chatter. In contrast, silence can be disconcerting in cultures that value verbosity and constant communication. In many parts of the United States, for example, silence can be perceived as awkward or even rude, prompting a rush to fill the void with conversation. Similarly, in Italy, a country known for its lively and expressive communication style, silence is often seen as unnatural or uncomfortable. Italians tend to fill silence with a symphony of words, gestures, and expressions. But let's not forget the Aboriginal peoples of Australia, who use periods of silence as a form of respect and a way to listen to the natural world around them. They believe that silence can help us connect with our inner selves and the environment. Across the African continent, silence is also used to express respect, particularly towards elders. In many African cultures, maintaining silence when an elder is speaking is a sign of deference and respect. So you see, silence is not just an absence of noise, it's a powerful communication tool that carries different meanings around the globe. It can express respect, encourage reflection, indicate discomfort, or foster a deeper connection with the world around us. Silence, then, is a global language, interpreted differently across the world. With great power comes great responsibility. Silence is no exception. As we delve into the realm of silence as a form of influence, we must be mindful of its ethical implications. The power of silence is not to be misused or wielded thoughtlessly. It is a tool, not a weapon. In a world where words are often used carelessly, silence can be a refreshing alternative. However, it's important to remember that silence, like any other form of communication, should be used to foster understanding and respect, not to manipulate or control. It's about creating space for others to share their thoughts, not to impose our own or to create unease. The ethics of influence remind us to employ silence with integrity, to consider the feelings and perspectives of others, and to use this powerful tool to build bridges, not barriers. Thus, silence, when used ethically, can foster deep connections and mutual respect. In the end, silence and words are companions, each enhancing the other's power. It's a dance of communication, where silence isn't an absence but a deliberate pause, a canvas upon which understanding and empathy are painted. We've journeyed through the psychology of silence, seen its practical applications, and discovered how to cultivate this potent tool. We've also explored its diverse cultural interpretations and discussed the ethical implications of wielding such silent power. Influence isn't about domineering conversations, but about fostering connections, understanding, and respect. And what better way to do this than by embracing silence as a strategic partner to words? This journey is not about suppressing your voice, but about amplifying it through the power of silence. It's about becoming a more effective communicator, a better listener, a more empathetic friend, a more impactful leader. So next time, before rushing to fill the silence, remember its power and use it wisely.